Alright, so what I'm going to try is just the washer method. Seems to be working. I've been working on it for a little bit now. And it's cutting. Hopefully it stays in place. Getting pretty close to getting all the way through. Just look at the washer that's welded in there. It just helps keep the center drill bit stay on track. Leaves a really nice clean hole when you can actually use the hole saw versus the plasma cutter. That's the plasma cut hole. Definitely does the job. There's definitely a hole there. It just doesn't look as good as the hole saw, but I'm just happy there's a hole in there. First hole I try to drill, there's a whole list of problems with that. I broke probably 5 drill bits. I caught that drill on fire. I also caught this brake line on fire somehow. I was welding over there, trying to weld in a washer, and somehow that brake line started on fire. So I don't know if a spark jumped over here. I had the battery disconnected on the car, but you can see it started smoldering and the coating wore off and it actually started just pouring out brake fluid. So now I got a fun mess to clean up there and a new brake line to install. The brake lines don't look very good anyway, so it wouldn't hurt to fix that. So yeah, now I just got to move on with suspension, get the wheel off, and drop the control arm. I'm just going to pull the knuckle off like I did on that side and pull the coil spring out. So I like to use my dead blow to take these off. I don't like to use the dead blow to install these. I like to use my lead hammer for that, but lead hammers get used up pretty quick, so it's kind of nice to use one of these just to take them off, especially if you're going to be taking them off and on often when you're doing suspension work, stuff like that. That's that way you don't burn through your lead hammer so quick. But even when I go to put these on, I'll tighten them up with this pretty good, and then I'll go back around with the lead hammer and finish tightening them up, make sure they're solid. I've only driven this car once. When I bought it to here, parked in the garage, and then just started tearing it down. But the one time I did drive it, this thing was kind of all over the road. Kind of easy to tell why. When you take the tire off, you can see all the suspension parts are bad. Twice. One knuckle. Twice. Doesn't feel too good. Probably asking, why are you using such a big hammer? Answer to that is, the smaller hammer doesn't do it. Those boots really like heat. Settle down. Had to cut the camera before I said any unsavory words about this one bolt, which I said. I just cut the camera. So there's been a lot of this and a lot of this going on and a whole lot of this, and I think I just seen it move. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She did something. This is what it's all about. This whole lowriding thing. It's about sitting in your garage on a brake fluid covered floor, pounding out rusty bolts on your Lincoln. in the freezing cold so you can make your car do this and look cool at stoplights and have people yell at you to hit the switch. That's what it's all about. Yeah, this is the glamorous part. You know, that's still a little warm. Still good. Yep. Whoa, there it is. There it is. Yep. All right. Cool. Gets to about there, and then it just stops. Well, doesn't that just look just a hair bit too big? I'm going to give it a shot anyway. You're probably asking me, why are you using such a big hammer? Stop asking me that. There it is. And I got new ball joints coming. Now, I got a feeling that this ball joint is just going to fall right out. Like it's just not going to give me any trouble. Probably thinking, why don't you use the pickle fork that you were just using to try to smash out a bolt? They don't work too well in this car. I tried it on the other side, but yeah, they kind of max themselves out before they do anything on this particular vehicle. I think it's going to be real fun when this thing finally does go, though. It just shoots down and ruins my day. Yep, it's moving. Alright, I'm gonna scooch on back. Woo! Woo! There she goes. Now I'm going to take off the caliper, take off the sway bar end link, tie rod end, and that should be it. This sucker will be ready to fall after that. It's unfortunate when that happens. Right time to replace that. Everything is disconnected. Now it's time for me to get the heck out of the way. It's going so slow it's not even moving. Just let it down slow, let the pressure off. Should get to the point where there's not a whole lot of energy left in the spring. Sounded like it gave up. Let's see. All right. When something's dangerous, usually I just kick it. Usually works out. Not this time. Breaking out really scientific stuff. It's a scientific block of wood. And I'm going to scientifically raise this car up a little higher so the suspension can hang a little more. Or not. Scientific block of wood, let me down. Well, that made me look like an idiot, that coil. which I'm going to put that aside because I'm probably going to use these on my rear. Getting ready to put in the front coils and cylinder. I chose a 6-inch cylinder for the front, and we're doing 3 1/4 ton coils. I think they're Sky High brand from Black Magic. I cut off 2 turns. Yeah, 2 turns. You can run less coil and have it sit a little lower. I want the car to sit pretty low when it's all the way down, but then you have to think the coil does break in over time. That's how it's going to set in there.